What is going on, my friends, and welcome back to another video here on the channel. Now, I want to give you a quick update on what's happening with Rndr and let you know what to be on the lookout for going forward, because its price is now doing what we talked about in the last video. Now, in the last video, I told you all to be on the lookout for Rndr to try to find some support in this zone between the 618 to 786 Fibonacci retracement levels, currently sitting at $8.11 and $7.03. I said that this zone is the zone that will decide whether or not Rndr is going to make a strong bounce to the upside, or whether it's going to continue to the bottom side to what could be another 40 to 30% down. Okay, so as you can see, I mean, it's a very important deciding zone. And what we can see here is that Rndr is now trying to find some support on that exact level that we talked about, which is the bottom side of the 618 to 786 box. And now, since it is trying to find some support, I figured it would just be a good idea to update you on exactly what to be on the lookout for going forward, so that you now know what to, kind of expect from Rndr and what the next moves that you could make could be. Now, personally, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be just pausing, completely waiting, not doing anything. I did a little bit of dollar cost averaging this morning. As you can see, I actually posted it over on my Twitter. I did a little bit of dollar cost averaging this morning, and outside of that, I'm not doing anything. I'm not going long, I'm not going short, I'm not doing a major DCA, nothing of that nature. I'm just quite simply waiting, because the reason being is that we are still within this key zone. We are still within this range, and the decision has not been made yet. Rndr has not decided, okay, are we going to use this zone to bounce to the upside, or are we going to lose support here and head to what could be as low as, $4.80, which, as I mentioned before, is a hefty fall, guys. I mean, that's 41% more to the downside. And although you might not want that to happen, it's possible. It could. I don't necessarily think it will, but it could. And that's always important to know. And so, since the decision hasn't been made yet, and since we haven't seen whether or not Rndr is going to go up or go down, quite simply, I'm not going to try to guess what's going to happen. I just don't think that's a good idea. In the long term, I believe Rndr is going to go up. And that's the reason I did do a little bit of dollar cost averaging. Follow me on Twitter at TylerHillYT to see what I'm buying every now and then. But yeah, my long-term guess is that, we're going to go up. And so I'm willing to do a little DCAing, but I'm not willing to bet on what's going to happen in the short term, whether the next move is going to look like this or whether the next move is going to look like this. There's just no way of knowing. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to play the range. Playing the range basically says, okay, I'm going to take my line and draw it at the top side of the range and the bottom side of the range. And whatever direction that Rndr goes from this range is likely the direction, in my opinion, that it's going to continue to go for at least another few days, few weeks, possibly a few months. Okay, so it could be a pretty extensive amount of time. So what that looks like is that if Rndr's price does break $8.11, obviously there will be a couple tasks in front of us. There will be a couple trials that we have to go through. We need to see it then be able to break $9.80, right? We have key points of resistance and liquidity all sitting right here. So it will be a struggle, but I do think that Rndr could start to look for that move to the upside. And so because of that, maybe at that given point, I would open up some type of long trade or something just very small, very not risky at all, to try to take advantage of what could be the next move to the upside for Rndr from that point forward. Okay, but the top side is $8.11, and until we get a distinctive, clear, obvious break of $8.11, I'm not really going to be doing too much. Okay, I'm not going to be doing too much in terms of buying, longing, anything up until that point. Now, if Rndr's price does break to the downside and we see it get a clear, obvious, and distinct break of $7, let's just call it $7. Once it loses $7 at that given point, the price target then becomes first and foremost $6.32, and then the next one then goes down all the way to $5.88, which from where we are at this exact moment, I mean, guys, that's another 20 to 25% to the downside, okay? And that's why it's so important to just maybe play the range and not rush things too much, because if you buy right now, I mean, there's a chance that you lose 25%, not lose, right? But your position goes negative up to 25% rather quickly once this key level of support at $7 is lost. And so because of that, again, I'm not going to be doing too much. I'm quite simply just going to wait this thing out, see what direction it breaks, see if it wants to clear the upside of the range or the downside of the range, and then start to base some of my next moves off of that. And I will, of course, continue to update you as that does play out. Now, in the meantime, guys, what I would recommend, go sign up down below with the CoinW link. You will get up to $30,000 in rewards. You don't have to KYC, meaning you don't have to give them any of your personal information. And on top of that, you're going to get free access to our trading group, which is where we have a bunch of pro traders in there doing live streams every day, giving signals, buy, sell, long, short signals every day. There's a general chat where you can talk to the pro traders yourself. They have, of course, all the information that you need in terms of like trading tutorials and things like that for the platform as well. That's a huge ton of value. And again, it's completely for free. You just need to go down and sign up for CoinW down below, and then go to the verification group down below and then request access to join. So overall, guys, go check that out. I mean, like I said, you can get up to $30,000, and that can go a long long ass way if you ask me. And so with that in mind, of course, that is about it for today. Just wanted to update you on what I'm looking at for Rndr in my current plans. As I mentioned in a little bit briefly, you know, kind of under my breath, if you do want to check out the things that I'm thinking, buying, stuff like that, you can check me out on Twitter at TylerHillYT, and that's where I do post it all, so feel free. But with that in mind, that's about it, guys. I hope you guys did enjoy, and I can't wait to see you all very soon in the next video. Peace out, everybody.